kind of football fitness and that football movement. And as I said, we just had a little extra training session out there, him and the coaches and a few of the other players. And as I said, he ran me ragged, so it's a good sign.
Injury update at the back. Who's in? Who's out?
Richard's not going to be available, neither is Daryl. And obviously Aston's suspended. So yeah, we're a bit light there, but the guys that have come, we've got Ryan Richter, we've got Logan Emery, and we've got Danielle Henry that can play out there as well. So we've still got, luckily we've got a deep enough squad with some MLS experience in those positions.
Have you figured out in your own mind what you're going to do there tomorrow?
Yeah, I have. So luckily enough, whatever decision we go with, we're really comfortable with.
So staying at the back, Galley, I mean, this guy who stepped in like a veteran right off the bat, hasn't he? You must be very impressed with what you've seen.
You're really impressed with Galley, really impressed with Danielle Henry. He's both those young men have grown in confidence and stature over the last couple of months, and it's good to see. They're still young and they've still got a lot to learn, and there's things that they're going to do wrong, but they're really nice guys. They're really good character. They want to learn, they want to get better, and it's a pleasure to work with guys like that.
And when you look at guys like Darren and Danny Califf, veterans, are you finding that it's like, and you for that matter, is it like a classroom out there for the younger guys?
Yes, for everybody, including me. I find out about the players every day. How they react to adversity, how they react to stress, pressures. So we're all learning. Everybody's learning, and whether you're an experienced player like Danny Califf, who's seen a lot in the MLS, all the way down to a young centre back like Danielle Henry. And then on the other side, you've got Robert Earnshaw kind of helping out the likes of Justin Brawns and Louis Silvers and Weeds and all the young strikers as well. So it's nice to have a blend of experience and youthful enthusiasm.
Talk about Houston a little bit. They're coming off what they are describing as their best performance of the year. They're obviously going to be a tough team tomorrow.
Oh yeah, they're a very strong team. They're, Dominic Kinnears, he's done such a great job throughout his whole MLS career, and what he's got with Houston is just that they're just a really tough team that just grinds out opposition. They grind you down, and if you're not up to it mentally, they generally roll over teams. So again, every team's a nice wee challenge for us. They're the MLS Cup finalists, and as I said, they're a very strong team. So it's just nice to see where the guys are at against these guys. You
said that 6 points out of 6 games is quite good enough. You go into this game with all these injuries against a really good team. Will a point be gone?
No. We obviously want to go for winning. To win the games. Where if we'd seen out a couple of games, we'd be on 10 points right now. It's I think that's where I get my frustration out of. We're very close. We're very close. We know we've got a long way to go, in all areas in this whole club. So we know where we're at. We're self-aware, but I think all the guys, are disappointed we only got 6 from now. But you're right. It's a very tough team that we're playing against. To tell the truth, it doesn't matter who comes out against Toronto, who puts on the Toronto shirt and who plays on Saturday, because they know what's expected of them. They know what the standards they've got to adhere to, and they know their jobs.
Joe Bendick had obviously a fantastic game in Philly, but I don't think you want to have him see that many shots in a game again.
Well, we've obviously watched the game a few times, and he did make some, 3 or 4 really good saves. A couple of them were off deflections, which is just life. It happens, But there wasn't really. He didn't really have that much to do besides probably 3 or 4 good saves, which, it kind of happens when you're away from home, doesn't it? You're right. Obviously, the quieter our keeper is, the better. But isn't that a heck of a lot to do this season? So. We obviously want to cut down shots on goal, especially as much as we can. But if we need our keeper to make a big one, then as you said, Joe did. Yeah.
How critical are these next 2 weeks with the 2 cup games? Then you have the 2 home MLS games, especially before going on the road. At Colorado and San Jose. Do you feel any more pressure to get points at home, especially after the drop points?
It's our home turf, obviously, so we expect to win. We expect to get 3 points on our field. We want to stay unbeaten. We want to get a run at BMO Field going. We're 3 games unbeaten at home, so it's a run that we want to continue. It's a long season. It's a long season. There's going to be, players coming in this league. If you can go for a run of, 2 or 3 or 4, all of a sudden it changes the whole face of the table, as you've seen over the last 3 or 4 weeks. So we want to keep grinding away, keep getting as many points as we can.
I guess one of the silver linings is you get Houston at home, because that 35-game unbeaten streak down there is pretty remarkable.
It's incredible. It's I don't think it'll ever get beaten. That I think that's just an amazing stat. I think we play Houston in the middle of summer, don't we? So maybe it would have been better to get them now at their place. But no, that would be. It would be a great challenge to go there, and hopefully that unbeaten run's still going when we go there, because it'd be a fun one to beat.
What do they offer, and what makes them so good? Why are they so solid?
I think they've just got 14, 16 very experienced, strong MLS players. There's no superstars. They're just a well-oiled machine that are just really solid. And as I said, they just grind you down. They're very good at set pieces. They work for each other. There's no egos. It's just a well-oiled team.
Are there aspects to that team that provide a model for what you're trying to achieve here with Toronto?
Yes, I think Houston have been there or thereabouts, winning a cup for how many years now? It's they've shown a consistency that's the envy of a lot of teams, and again, that's something that we always like to try and look at the good things that we can improve on that the other teams are doing, and their home run obviously in the heat helps, but their consistency, their squad, how they always seem to be playing for each other, and it's a real envy for a lot of teams.
They also seem to be a team that's quite good on set pieces, and most likely you're going to have at least a partially young back line. How does that impact your mindset going?
Well, we know they're really good at set pieces. Great delivery. I mean, obviously Davis's delivery is very strong. It's probably the best in the league. We know that. We've got to deal with it, and hopefully the boys are up to it.